In 2013, a show called Uncle Grandpa first aired, and the whole show just looked bizarre, and it was not something I ever got around to watching. Fast forward to 2022, and I saw it on my Hulu account, and I wanted to give it a try. My thoughts on making a video on it was just making a reaction to season 1, but since I kid you not, it's 52 episodes in one season alone. I just watched the first couple and called it a day. It's background time, everybody. September of 2013, Uncle Grandpa premiered on Cartoon Network. If you turned on the Cartoon Network at that time, you would get some shows like Ninjago, Masters of Spinjitzu, What's New Scooby-Doo, some classic Looney Tunes at around noon, and season 5 of Adventure Time. And of course, how could we ever forget the Annoying Oranges TV show? Peter Braungart, is that how you pronounce it? I think it is. I don't know. I'm going with that. Is the creator of the show, and he worked on projects like Chowder, The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, and Adventure Time. In 2011, Peter made his first show called Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, which I've never heard of before, but apparently it was kind of a dud considering it didn't even run for 30 episodes. So actually, Uncle Grandpa was Peter's second attempt on being a show's creator instead of just a writer, like he was in those other shows I mentioned. But what is Uncle Grandpa? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I still don't know how to describe it, but this is how Google describes it. Uncle Grandpa is a magical uncle and grandpa to everyone, and he travels around the world in an RV on a mission to help people in any way they need it. The mustachioed Good Samaritan wears a fanny pack named Belly Bag that serves as his right-hand man as he finds solutions to everyday situations, even if no issue existed to begin with. Also helping Uncle Grandpa on his adventures are Dinosaur Mr. Gus, Talking Pizza Slice Pizza Steve, and Giant Realistic Flying Tiger, their primary mode of transportation. Eternally optimistic Uncle Grandpa always greets the day and everyone he meets with his signature good morning. I think that overview is pretty good, but it doesn't fully encapsulate how much of a fever dream the show is. There truly isn't any boundaries in this show or what they can and can't do as long as it's family friendly. This is still Cartoon Network. I mean, one of the main characters is literally just a PNG, and sometimes you just put IRL faces in it as well just to change up the animation. This is where I see the influence of Peter being the creator of Uncle Grandpa and the similarities of writing for shows like Chowder and Flapjack, who also did similar tricks of switching up the animation on the fly just because they can. Every episode of Uncle Grandpa is like if you took the weirdest parts of regular show and made that the most regular part of this show. Nothing makes sense, everything is everywhere, and I truly think this show is just a giant fever dream. I get the feeling that this show is Peter's full creative freedom outlet, where he just pulls out all of his ideas that don't fit in the other shows, but he doesn't want it to go to waste. And some of these really should have gone to waste, but it's entertaining. It's just almost mesmerizing to watch, and also they make an Among Us joke in the first episodes, so that was an epic gamer moment.
Mr. Gus, look! There's an imposter!
Also in the first episode, I found this clip to be really odd.
We have to look out for each other.
But after watching a couple more episodes of the show, I came to realize that the whole thing is just odd and nothing really makes sense in any of it. It's perfect background noise for while you're doing homework or editing or something, because I feel like I can be zoned out of the show and zone back into it, and I'll be equally as confused either way. The best way I can describe it is a weird, family-friendly Adult Swim show that will never let me hear the phrase "Good morning" the same way ever again. Now, Uncle Grandpa wasn't exactly raking in the raving reviews, with IMDb giving it only a 4.4 out of 10, an audience score of 3.9 out of 5 stars, which isn't terrible. But fun fact, the show was nominated for multiple Emmys and actually won one of them for the animation in the episode Afraid of the Dark. I don't know, I thought that was just a cool fact. So what did I think of watching Uncle Grandpa in 2022? Considering the show is closing in on a decade old, it's honestly aged pretty well. It does exactly what it's meant to do. Have no linearity to it, be fun to watch, and overall just be different, really. Nothing makes sense in the show because nothing is supposed to make sense in the show. Everything is weird because it's supposed to be weird. The show is doing exactly what Peter Braungart wanted it to, and it's still doing it almost a decade later, and I can commend him for that. It's like if you don't like the Beatles' music, but you respect them for what they did for the music in general. After making this video, will I ever go back to this show again? No, probably not. But I appreciate what Peter is trying to do in it and how well he actually achieved in doing it. Would I recommend this show to anyone? No, not really. But at the same time, if you have an extra hour on hand, give the show a watch because who knows, maybe you'll really like it. It's definitely unique, I'll give it that. I feel like I'll come back to the show in 10 years and I'll give it a watch just to see if my opinion has changed. So make sure you subscribe so you can be notified in 10 years that I uploaded the update video. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching and I'll see you on the next time. Good morning. Toodles.